Good morning, YouTube, and welcome to the Reptile Barn. Today, I want to talk about something that is near and dear to my heart. I want to defend the honor of ball pythons. So, ball pythons are two things. They are probably the most commonly kept pet reptile. I could be wrong. Corn snakes and bearded dragons are right up there. And I guess leopard geckos. But I would guess there are more ball pythons in captivity than any other species of reptile. That means that a lot of people like them. They're very, very, very popular for a lot of reasons. But they are also the most derided reptile amongst other reptile people. People who don't keep ball pythons absolutely love to trash ball pythons, okay?
They're a garbage snake.
It's like having a pet rock.
There's all sorts of stuff people say. They never eat. They're just boring. They don't do anything. It goes on and on and on and on and on, right? So I have been so measured in my response to people who talk that way my whole career in ball pythons, right? Well, this video, I'm just going to come straight out and say, I freaking love ball pythons. I think they're one of the best pet snakes, if not the best pet snake that you can possibly have. And I'm going to explain why I think that. I am going to call out some people, not individually, but one thing that happens a lot is that somebody wants to draw attention to themselves, right? They want to look cool. Well, having what everybody else has isn't that cool. If you have something super, super rare, super dangerous, super expensive, that's more cool, right? You're just, I guess you're more hipster that way. Well, to me, that has nothing to do with the quality of pet that a certain animal makes. That just has to do with trying to come up with reasons to boost yourself up. I don't know why people do that. People do that with everything. It's not just reptiles. You know, people try and compensate for their own lack of coolness by having something that they think is going to make them look cool. And I don't buy that. I don't like that. It's a silly reason to trash a living animal to me. A lot of people really do think that they're boring. They don't move fast. They're not going to be one of those species that's cruising around their cage all day, right? It's extremely overstated. If you have a healthy ball python in an expertly put together environment, a living situation, they'll come out. They'll explore their cage. They're friendly, so it's not like they're going to run and hide every time a person walks in the room. They're very easy to socialize is what I mean. It's easy to get past the fear response in a ball python. So if your ball python never comes out, there might be something wrong. The temperatures in your cage might be the first thing to check, right? Maybe you have a giant open cage with no visual barriers and the snake is nervous, it feels exposed. Maybe you never hold it, so it's just not used to people and it's not very well socialized. But ball pythons, while they are pretty nocturnal, meaning they're going to be a lot more active at night, they do come out. They do explore. They absolutely do. They're a very curious animal. Look at this guy right now. You know, our ball pythons are kept in a rack system, which I'm going to be very frank, I find to be suboptimal as far as like a perfect living situation for a reptile. And they explore the space that they are given. They spend quite a bit of time on the cool end, on the warm end. They burrow a lot because we use a lot of substrate. They'll just push their cage furnishings around and make it how they want it. They get in their water bowl a lot. They're very active. They're just slow moving. All right. This is an ambush predator, so it is part of their nature to hold still for a long period of time. Right? But our ball pythons aren't going, months between meals either, unless they choose to. But, it's not like in nature where if you don't find food, you just don't get to eat. We'll always offer them food, right? Another complaint against ball pythons that I find just ironic is that they fast so much. They go off of food, right? To me, there's two things wrong with this complaint. One, because it's 100% natural for a ball python to fast. Don't listen to anybody who's whining about it's not normal for them, they shouldn't fast. I have seen people who will literally go on these rants about breeders are liars. It's not natural for a ball python to fast in the wild. They would never go months. Yes, they absolutely would. Okay? You're straight up wrong. Ball pythons do fast in the wild. Adult ball pythons fast for long periods of time in the wild, even when there's food available, for certain reasons. If you know your snakes, you know their patterns, you know their age, you know their gender, you know what they're doing at any given time, then you should be able to tell, is this a normal and natural fast? 99% of the time, the answer is yes. Or is something wrong? If you're weighing your snake regularly, as you should be able to say, oh, my snake went off of food for a month. Is it losing weight? An adult ball python that goes 4 or 5 weeks without food should not lose weight. It just shouldn't. If it is, there's probably something wrong and you need to get it checked out. So my issues with this, I guess there's actually 3 of them. We just talked about it's totally natural for ball pythons to fast. Please don't listen to misinformation. They fast during the winter months very regularly. They fast when they want to breed, which often corresponds with the winter months. They tend to fast when they hit a certain age. I think of it as puberty for a ball python. They just fast. They hit anywhere from 800 to 1200 grams and they just fast. They'll fast for, if it's a female that's cycling and she reaches a certain part of her cycle, she's going to fast. That's how ball pythons are. To me, this is my second reason why I find this complaint ridiculous. This is a good thing, not a bad thing. It means that your ball python is functioning properly and it has enough fat reserves to easily get through a fasting period. It also saves you money because rats and mice are expensive. So if your ball python goes off of food for a few months, you are saving money. How is that a bad thing? Just watch its weight. Make sure you're offering every several weeks. If your ball python goes off of food, don't offer it food every day. That's ridiculous. You're wasting food. Wait 2 or 3 weeks. Wait 4 weeks. Just make sure it's regularly getting offered food. Again, if you're observing your animal and you know it very well, you will very likely be able to tell. Hello, weirdo. You'll be able to tell when it wants food again. We have a couple of times had adult females go a long time without food. And we start just offering once a month. And eventually they come back on food. And when they do, I can tell. I go to feed the other snakes. The scent of rats and mice is in the air. And she pops up. She's alert, head's off the ground a little higher than normal, tongue's flicking regularly. Her eyes are moving. She's right at the front of the cage looking. She wants food, right? She was asleep 10 seconds ago. She smells rats, pops right up. I'm going to offer her a rat. She's going to take it, right? So it's just crazy. Now, my third problem with this issue that people have with ball pythons is there are a ton of snakes that fast. It is not exclusive to ball pythons. The boas and pythons in general are they fast. Everyone's like, ball pythons are so picky. Yeah, snakes are picky. They're a specialist predator that has big, thick body mass that doesn't need to eat year-round. So to them, because eating and hunting is so vulnerable to them, if they don't need it for a length of time, why take the risk? It's not like us where we're like, oh, I haven't eaten for 2 hours. I'm starving. I'm going to go to my fridge. To a snake in the wild, hunting something and then swallowing a huge meal is vulnerable. It's dangerous, right? So it's not just ball pythons. People, I think, have sometimes honed in on ball pythons. That's what they wanted, and they got talked out of it because people are like, they're such picky eaters. It's going to be terrible. It's a nightmare. And they go and get a whatever snake that has a reputation for eating really well, a retic or a boa of any sort. And then winter hits and their boa doesn't want to eat either, right? And they're like, I thought it was just ball python. No. Anyway, I'm rambling a little bit here, guys. But the eating thing, to me, is a non-issue. If anything, it's a good thing. The docile nature that people have decided is boring. would you rather your snake be biting you constantly or thrashing every time you try and hold it? Like, it just makes no sense to me. Now, by the way, I am not trying to say that people whose taste in reptiles just tends towards other species are somehow wrong and they're stupid for not having ball pythons. That's ridiculous. These are live animals that you're putting a lot of time and money and emotional investment in many cases into the animal. Get the one you want. Don't just get a ball python because everyone else is getting it. But don't trash ball pythons if it's not the one that you happen to want, right? Ball pythons are extremely hardy and healthy. Very, very rarely do they get sick. They are just strong. They're a good size. I could go on and on and on and on about the good things about ball pythons. I really just had on my mind the complaints people have about them, and I wanted to put some people's mind at ease if I can. There is no downside to a ball python other than, personal taste, of course. If you have been looking at ball pythons online and you love all the colors, by the way, let me touch on that for just a minute. People get so uppity about the morphs of ball pythons. They're like, oh my gosh, a normal ball python's like $20 at the pet store, and there's these random morphs that pretty much all look the same, and they're going for $10,000. And I'm like, oh, are you guys just really jealous that your corn snakes only go for $100? Like seriously, it sounds like jealousy. Maybe there's something else internally going on, but that's what it comes across as, is this petty, childlike jealousy that people in ball pythons are making really good money and doing something they love, and it's actually profitable. That's what it seems like to me. If there's people out there willing to spend the money and buy it, why are you so upset about it? Do you get this upset when someone spends $3,000 on a purebred dog, or $12,000 on a horse, or whatever their passion is, or $50,000 on some souped up motorcycle? I mean, or I could go on and on and on and on. Do all of those things make you mad, or is it just ball pythons with morphs? I don't get it. They're gorgeous. They're phenomenal. I'm obsessed with them. The morphs that people are putting together, that we're putting together, it's insane. We have 2 clutches right now of eggs in the incubator that could be the 2 best clutches we've ever produced. And I am like, every day I'm like, oh my gosh, it's still more weeks to go. I'm like so excited about this. And it's just more ball pythons. We've hatched hundreds of ball pythons, but I'm still that excited about these new ones that are coming because it's colors and combos that we've never produced before. A couple of them might possibly be things no one in the world has produced before. It's exciting to me. I look at this guy and he looks nothing like my other ball pythons. The color, the pattern, absolutely different from my other ball pythons. I don't have anything else that looks remotely like him. And there's tens of thousands of combinations that have been made, and there's literally billions of combinations yet to be made. When you have a base of, 300 mutations that you can then combine in infinite ways, this ball python craze, guys, it will never end. Okay? Get that through your heads. If you're one of the people who's upset about it and are like, I can't wait till the ball python market crashes, it's not crashing anytime. In fact, the ball python market drags up the rest of the reptile world. Businesses don't work until money flows. Real money. Not like I can barely scrape by money, but like real money. And the business side of the reptile world is heavily invested in ball pythons and other species that have morphs and that are docile. So a lot of people want them because only stupid morons on YouTube like getting bit by their snake. Okay? 99% of people who buy a snake don't want it to ever bite them in their life. So anyway, I don't usually get this ranty, but I absolutely love these guys, and it's so popular right now to bash on them. I just wanted to kind of put my hand up and be like, I like them. I really like them because of this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this, and this. All those reasons you're using to say they're terrible are stupid reasons, okay? I said it, there. So, anyway, that is how I feel about it. Feel free to disagree with me in the comments. I will still think you're wrong, but it's a free country. You can say whatever you want in the comments, unless it's vulgar and, you know, crude language, and then I'm just going to delete your comment. But other than that, you can disagree with me to your heart's content. I'll even respond politely. I've said enough, okay? Just admire Onyx here, our GHI Enchi, hopefully gravel. We'll know in a couple more weeks. And yeah, enjoy the world of ball pythons. In fact, there's a website called World of Ball Pythons. Go there. It's awesome. Go on Morph Market to the ball python section. Just look at what breeders are producing. Most of you are probably already, even if you don't have your own ball pythons, I don't think most of the people who watch our channel are ball python haters. But for those of you that are, be converted. Or at least stop bothering those who do like ball pythons and telling them that they're somehow less real in the hobby because they like morphs of ball pythons, right? Or if you don't want to stop saying those things, at least know that I disagree with you and I don't care what you say. I'm still going to like them forever. That is all. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, we're the Reptile Barn.